And, just to kind of talk about one of the big breaking news stories that has reared its head, even bigger than that, of the Washington football team and their debacle with the NFL. We're now hearing about the NHL and the Blackhawks. And this is something that's far more serious, a lot deeper. And it goes back, to some pretty, it goes back about 10 years, but it's really, some really fucking crazy shit, for lack of a better word. But I'm going to let 5 Points speak on it a little bit to kind of bring it in, because I'm not a huge hockey guy, but this is a huge thing, and he knows it more than I do.
So yesterday on the dumpster fire, a huge story broke where there was a player on the Chicago Blackhawks who was called up during their Stanley Cup run, and he was named in court proceedings as John Doe. And throughout the Blackhawks did an investigation on themselves. They paid for an independent investigation, and he was named John Doe in the report. Well, today that player comes forward. His name is Kyle Beach, and what happened was he was sexually assaulted by the video coach for the Chicago Blackhawks, and there's Tree who knows a lot about this as well. He was sexually assaulted by the video coach. He reported it. He reported it to his superiors. He went up the chain. Everyone ignored him. The organization swept it under the rug. He was subsequently mocked by other players on the ice in front of media, and he suffered trauma from it. No one would believe him that this happened. The person in question, Aldrich, was eventually fired though because of this. He was actually offered.
He wasn't fired. He left the organization,
right,
and the Blackhawks gave him a letter of recommendation and references.
Right. They basically gave him the option of resigning, was what happened, or they would make it public, or something like. They basically was like they gave him the easy out, and then he goes on to further his sexual assault career by assaulting a young, an underage person, ends up in jail. He's since gone to jail and has been released. But this person is an awful person, Brad Aldrich. What he did to Kyle Beach, and now we're finding out the true impact of this. And there's going to be more aftershocks. There's coaches are going to be fired. Management, general managers, people that knew about this incident that swept it under the rug. It's going to get ugly, and that's where we are today. But there's just the courage of Kyle Beach to be, not named in the report, and then to come out today and get in front of it, because I think eventually he was probably going to be outed because people could figure it out. And look at him getting out in front of things, which is the right thing to do. So it's an awful situation, and I don't know what the right words are to say about it other than it was terrible, and the Blackhawks greatly mishandled it.
Here's my question, though. Why the hell is Joel Quenneville coaching tonight? If everything that Kyle Beach said was true, why is he behind the bench? He's coaching for the Panthers right now against the Boston Bruins.
I think he's being called into a meeting. Do you want to play
tomorrow?
the video?
But you think you'd have a leave of absence, though?
Yeah.
Something immediately, like instantly. Well, there's a video here. Let's check it out real quick. Frank Saravalli put it up, and this is about, a minute 42 seconds. Let's check it out, and maybe they get us some info here that we don't quite have yet.
After management was told about what had happened, Brad Aldrich remained with the team for weeks. What was that like, watching him on a daily basis interact with the team, seeing him at the parade, getting a Stanley Cup ring later that summer, having a day with a Stanley Cup?
To be honest, Rick, I think the only way I can describe it is that I felt sick. I felt sick to my stomach. I reported this, and I was made aware that it made it all the way up the chain of command by Doc Gary, and nothing happened. It was like his life was the same as it was the day before, the same every day. And then when they won, to see him paraded around, lifting the cup at the parade, at the team pictures, at the celebrations, it made me feel like nothing. It made me feel like I didn't exist. It made me feel that I wasn't important. And it made me feel like that he was in the right and I was wrong. And that's also what Doc Gary told me, was that it was my fault because I put myself in that situation. And the combination of these and him being paraded around, them letting him take the Stanley Cup to a high school with kids after they knew what had happened, there's no words to describe it, right?
Damn.
Yeah. That's some heavy shit.
So I read that transcript before I read his comments. Hearing him deliver them make it so much.
I'm halfway through the interview myself. Like, it's just like, it's powerful shit.
Yeah, it's
like, and now you understand why this didn't come out for years, because you're supposed to be like, let's suppose it happened to a football player, like say like a running back or a wide receiver. Nobody's going to believe him. They're going to think, oh, you're faking it, or you deserved it, or like you're supposed to be this macho babe fucking athlete. You're not supposed to be victimized by a video coach that puts on porn and starts masturbating in front of you. It's like, and allegations of like forced blowjobs too, like a lot of that stuff too. So, I mean, that's sexual assault.
Any way you slice it, shit.
It makes, and we talked about this before the show, it makes me wonder like how manipulative and how awful this Brad Aldrich guy
is. Not even manipulative. It's not even Aldrich. It's the boys club mentality of hockey. Because the problem is, if he comes out about this, he's labeled as a team cancer, a terrible player. They fuck over his entire career. I mean, if you actually look at Kyle Beach's career, he was on a positive trajectory until that moment, and then he just stalls out in the AHL and just doesn't become anything. He never played a game in the NHL. He was a top 10 pick. I think it was like 10th or 11th overall. And like there was like a coach from the Rockford Ice Hogs said like, oh, the assault Aldrich is still hanging on his mind as if like it wasn't a huge deal. It's like, it's a terrible situation all around. And as I said, Coach Gwenville knew about this, and he's coaching tonight.
Yeah, he's getting fired.
Wow.
Yesterday I said he probably survives because maybe he has some culpability.
The thing that they knew about it, he's done. Shovel Dayoff's done. Bergevin may be done too, even though he's not directly linked. But because he was part of that brass of the Blackhawks, all three might be done. Bergevin has the best chance of surviving because he's not directly linked with any of this.
You got to run up like behind the fucking bench and grab him tonight.
I don't know why he's coaching. You figured he'd have a leave of absence or something.
Like, nah, bro.
Yeah. No. You can't even let that cat.
And it's the same thing with it's the same thing with Gruden. It's like after that shit comes out, how can you trust him in the locker room?
He coached the whole fucking weekend. He was there till what, Tuesday or Monday of the next week?
He came out on Friday. The first time came out on Friday.
The extra comments, and then it's like you can't coach.
On Friday was the extra comments? I thought that was
Friday was the first comment. It was the one about Maurice Smith, and then Tuesday came out. It was the main comments.
After Mike.
Well, you can eliminate that one email. It's like, okay, it's a blip on the radar. That shit happens. Right. But once the other stuff comes out, you can't survive that. Yeah, and Coach Q, it's the same thing. Like, you can't survive that in a locker room. And I've never been in a pro locker room, but you lose your respect for a coach. Like, that stuff can be taken out immediately.
You can't.
Even in any locker room.
You're fucking done.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, there's no way. You can't survive.
That was awkward when Mike Tirico
like, hey, guys, we're going to go full pads today. Bitch, fuck you. Full pads? Bitch, we ain't doing nothing. We're going to play some dominoes right here.
Right. Urban Meyer lost a lot of respect, and he was trying to get some pussy. So,
Well, he didn't fly back with the team. That was
right.
Yeah, that's where they got pissed, because he ain't fly back with the team, and he was already kind of acting like a bitch, through OTAs and stuff. So, the fact that he did that pissed him. That pissed off players, I'm quite sure.
At the very least,
right here,
you have to sit in front of all of us. Tell us exactly
this shit right here.
Happened. I mean, you're still fired.
This shit right here is like there's players who were part of this
nuclear
shit too, though.
Yeah. Players taunted him. The thing is like, if you're a player though, like, and Tree, you said that, you know, it's the boys mentality,
Good old
right?
boys club.
Boys
But
clubs.
if you're a player and you need someone that has your back, right? Your coach is supposed to have your back, especially on shit.
It's part
like
of a
this.
union. Yeah, they sniff
Right.
out weakness. That's any locker room, any organization. They
Right.
see like the being vulnerable as weakness. They see like being withdrawn and just like alienated. They see that as weakness. And
Mhm.
I mean, I've seen people deal with that. I've dealt with it myself. And it's just like they don't go to your cause. Nobody does, because at the end of the day, you take it out on yourself. You abuse drugs and alcohol like Kyle Beach did, or worst case scenario, you put a bullet in your head.
Yeah, I was gonna say, shout out to this guy for just being alive.
For
Yeah,
real.
exactly.
Yeah.
They
Like,
fucking gaslighted
He
this
talked
dude.
about
you know, it's
for
crazy
years.
because
It's a miracle
a lot of
that
people don't even
didn't have any type of incident. Could have
Mhm.
hell
easily.
yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah, he
Everybody-
had mentioned in his interview, like he said, he had abused drugs and alcohol as a way to cope, and he lashed out at people. So
Yeah.
All the things that we see now, you know, and just to kind of look at it on the other side of the scope, right? Like all the things that women talk about when they talk about sexual assault, that we like hear it, but nobody can really understand that shit like they can. And now
And-
here you have a man again, the NHL, which is something like football, right? Like
Yeah.
the most macho, the most alpha of the alphas. You know what I mean? Like people who
I think they
you
got
know,
us.
they're-
These
know what I
fuckers
mean?
are crazy.
I mean,
Out there playing with
yeah,
broken
I
legs
mean,
and shit.
hey, you know, I don't have an argument against that, but you know, the fact of the matter is these guys are guys who are conditioned to never show pain,
Can't.
never show weakness,
Never shoot.
and that's
Well,
something similar to football, where you know
Hockey
you're not
culture
like
where-
it's- they'll listen to you now, but
Yeah.
you still get those looks. You still
The
get
one
those
thing,
looks,
too,
like,
is
talk about
especially-
things that you're hurt by.
especially after like hockey playoffs, you get the huge injury reports of players like playing on broken legs, broken feet. Like they call them lower body injuries. It's like
Right.
it could be either like a skate scratch or it could be his entire leg's broken. Like
I'm just saying, if
doesn't
you play a sport where it's a regular occurrence to get hit and spit teeth out,
Yeah, no one has
Yeah.
to.
and then continue to play, like literally
Yeah.
they'll just spit a tooth out. They'll get gauze in their mouth and be like, next shift, I'm good.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
We good.
Yeah, I ain't doing that.
Well,
Get me the fuck out of here.
the problem
I'm not
is like
doing
if they
that.
lose that spot, they might lose it forever because there's going to be someone else that takes
Yeah.
their place.